This is Rhea, and this is Just the Who of Us, where we talk about a range of topics, including life events, current events, spirituality, entertainment, family relationships, as well as answering listener questions and more. How have you been?
Actually, I've been great. How about yourself?
Good, good, good. Lots of new stuff going on. Got a lot to tell you about, kind
That's
of.
good.
So
Nice.
I was just looking at, like, kind of catching up on your films.
Yeah, they've been going pretty well, actually.
Yeah. Okay, tell me. So I was
Hmm.
watching. I don't know if it shows me like the order that they're posted, but the one Love, Romance, and the Gift of Finding Purpose together, the one that you posted on your
Yeah.
Facebook, I was watching that one. Is
Oh,
that the
nice.
most?
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No,
Is that
that's not the most recent one. I mean, it's recent than most of them, but no. The most recent one was which one? It's called a good song makes a difference.
okay? I didn't think it was the most recent because it said like 3 months ago, and I was like, I know he's probably done more
Yeah.
since then.
Yeah. What time is moving like really fast. Like, yeah.
Okay,
I stay pretty active. Yep.
so catch me up. Catch me up. It's been a minute.
Oh, well, so I mean, I've been filming as normal. I've been working in the funeral home. I'm finally, working on getting my intern license so I can, get that over with so I can be fully licensed. But it's, I've been pretty busy. I kind of stepped away from pro wrestling a little bit because I'm,
Mm.
I kind of want to like, I want to be a manager and like, I kind of want to be somewhere like where they're gonna push me toward what I want to do,
Right.
as opposed to kind of getting me to do something that I don't want to do.
Yeah. Okay. So you stepped away. My daughter's actually taking kind of a break from wrestling too. Not really voluntarily, but she was training with George South. We talked about that before. But then he stopped training where he was training. Because
Okay.
because the building they were renting, the owners wanted to charge more and they didn't want to charge their people. They didn't want to charge
Yeah.
their trainees more to train. So they started looking for somewhere else and they're just kind of far now. So she's kind of taking a break from that too.
Yeah.
She's working
What?
and different things like that. So, but
Yeah. Sometimes you have to. Like, I mean, I know, setbacks are not.
yeah.
They're not always, the great, but I feel like, they all end up working out for a purpose. Because, like, I think that was pretty noble of him to, consider his students and not overcharge them. Like, because I mean, like, we live in this world where a lot of people are greedy. So
Yeah.
I think that was really noble of him to
Yeah.
consider his students. I mean, that goes to show you that, it's not just about the money. Like, he really enjoyed what he's doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we tried a couple other places, but it just wasn't the same. It was
Yeah.
all a little, he excuse me, he went at the pace of his students. And most other people are, this is what I'm training on, and this is what we're doing. And it
Yeah.
we tried a couple places and they were just kind of a little faster paced than, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I've ran into situations like that too. I mean, everybody learns differently, but I mean, like the guy that was training me, really great trainer. I mean, really great people. I mean, I still keep in contact with everybody. I still go to the shows when I can. Every now and then I may get to practice, but I mean, really, to be real with you, like I'm focusing more on film and kind of, getting my funeral service license and,
yeah,
because like I said, wrestling is more of a hobby for me. So like, I didn't get into it for a career. It's more of an outlet. So I don't really, spend
true.
too much time there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So okay. Um I'll record a separate intro because I'm just excited to talk to you because it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm actually excited to hear from you again. Like, I try to keep up with people. Like, I mean, I just think it's a good thing to do, like, because,
Mhm.
like, being somebody that work in funeral service, like, it's crazy how, like, I like what this one guy said. He's like, if people like you, they'll show up for your funeral. But if they love you, they'll be supportive and check on you and things like that. So like,
Mm.
I try to check on people. I
Yeah.
try to show people love as much as I can, because like, in a way, time is moving. Because I know, like, one of my good childhood friends. I mean, I spent summers and nights at their house, and his mom, she was ill and she ended up passing away. And she was a firm believer in Christ, and she loved the Lord and things. Uh-oh. Did you lose me?
Okay, you're back.
Was that me or was that you?
I don't know. You kind of went out and then came back in. It could have been either one of us, honestly.
Okay, well, yeah, but yeah, she passed away, and I mean, it was
Mm.
like, you know, she was ill, and it was kind of rough, but I mean, like, to see everybody, and like, just thinking about, like, even though, like, I work around it and things like that, like, when it hits home, it hits home,
Yeah,
because it's one thing to be on the business side of it, like, you're just doing your job, and you try to you know, be genuine with it. But then, like, when it's somebody, like, it just really makes you really like, wow, like, it's a good thing to check on people, because you never know what people are going through. Yeah,
100%, 100%. I've with this since I've started kind of interviewing other people, because in the beginning it was me and my friend just recorded a lot of stuff. I would have other people here and there, like people I already knew. But,
yeah,
since I've started reaching out and having other guests, I really, kind of made friends with people. And
yeah,
most of the people that I have on, I have back. There's like 4 people who I'm like, okay, I can't have everybody back once a month because there's not enough
yeah,
weeks. But really, most of the people that I have are back once a month or once every couple months. It's
yeah,
just, we've developed this like friendship, and it's great, and I love it. So I would love to have you back as much as possible. We always have
yeah.
good conversation, and
Anytime you want me, God willing, I'm more than happy to come on. Like, I really appreciate it. And I mean,
yeah,
because like I say, some people don't think about you at all. So it's nice to know,
yeah.
you know. So it's good to check on people. Like, I've learned that, and I mean, like, seeing everything now, like, I don't know, like mental health is like, it's like more of a big thing than it ever have been. So it's just good to check on people.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm happy about that. That's a more popular thing because
Yeah,
so like when I started my college career, right? Like I started out in medical assisting because I had experience as a CNA. So I've always kind of wanted to do something in like healthcare, but I, was like, oh, like physical health because I had experience in medical.
yeah,
And then I went away and I was studying for a degree in Christian studies, completely different, field. And then I came back to psychology, and then I came back to mental health, and I just keep getting drawn back into healthcare, and I'm like, okay, well, I have these degrees. I'm taking a break from working, raising kids, and working on different projects. Something just always brings me back to the healthcare aspect of things. I don't know if it's because I'm a mom or life experience, whatever, but the fact that mental health care has become so important is amazing. I'm so
yeah,
happy because while our physical health is important, obviously, you know, you can be in good physical shape. You could be a bodybuilder, but if your mental health is fried, your health is not really that great.
that's true. Yeah. And I mean, I think it's important for people to, check on their sanity. 'Cause, like, even with my vocal disorder, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's an emotional type of disorder.
Right.
So, I mean, like, it's you can think you're a very strong person, but like, you have to create a balance. Like, I remember this lady. I was at a funeral director conference in Texas, and she says,
Well, that sounds fun.
there is no such thing as a balance. And I'm like, well, I try to be understanding to other people where they come from, but I feel like you can create a healthy balance. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean,
I
you
mean,
have to
in
though.
this day and time, you really have no choice because if you just bombard yourself with stuff, like you would really overwhelm yourself and drive yourself nuts.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, so how long has it been since I know we kind of like chat here and there throughout, but since have we really, really talked since like December, January?
I think a little bit, kind of. It's been more kind of like spontaneous. Yeah,
Yeah, just like check-in kind of thing.
yeah. But I mean, like I said, I mean that's still a good thing though because like it's just really good to see about people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I don't remember if we discussed this, but I think you might have reached out, but my father passed in December. And
Uh,
then like the same week, a few days while I was still in South Carolina with my family, a really good, really close family friend passed away. She was one of my mom's best friends. I kind of, me and her kids kind of grew up around her daughter, we call each other sisters. She calls me her big sister. I call her my little sister, her mom, but she had been really sick, like pretty bad diabetes, for most of her adult life. And she was like maybe early 50s at best.
it's
So
still pretty young, yeah.
I know. And I didn't know that she was having any like current big issues, and she passed. My father, he had been sick for a most of for a long time with different
Yeah,
things. But that was still a shock because I don't know, he's just kind of like there. We had kind
hmm
of like we were, our relationship had been better. I had been visiting more.
yeah,
I've been in communication. We've been in communication a lot more. And then just like I get a call and it's like,
yeah,
hey, I see you, get here now. And like that night, like I went to South Carolina after that call, and that night, me and my oldest two kids went. I called, people to get my other kids. That night he was gone, like within hours of getting there. So
yeah,
it's crazy. It is. It's like, yeah, and it's crazy. We
yeah.
know it's
I'm,
gonna happen eventually, right? But like you still don't expect it. You're still not prepared.
yeah, well, I mean, but that's one of the things. Like I tell people, like time is our greatest currency. Like
Mm,
we gotta enjoy it and like not sweat the small stuff. Because I mean, people can literally be here today and gone like the next second. Like, and I mean, I don't know if you have noticed this, but like lately, it's been like a lot of younger people. Like,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah, like she was only what I think 18 or 19. Um, yeah, rough.
Gosh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah. I
it,
mean, it's been a lot of young people. Yeah,
yeah. It's hard. It's hard when they're old. It's hard when they're young. I think it's probably a little bit harder when it's somebody younger. Just because they didn't have as much life lived.
and I
Um,
mean, it's like to me, I mean, I know we can't stay here forever, but it's like I mean, it's nice if God bless you to get to be 70, 80, 90, 100. Like, I mean, of
right.
course, everybody would probably want to live longer, but I mean, it's a part of life, I mean, but I mean, it's you want to live a full life. Yeah,
That's one thing that I admire about you is your perspective on life. And, in part because you see death and, it's something, on a regular basis. And I admire the fact that you take that and it makes you want to live life more fully because you can see it. I mean, some of us see it. I've experienced a lot of death, a lot of murder, a lot of death. And I feel like I try to live my life, I could be healthier. I could do certain things differently. I try to intentionally parent a certain way. I try to intentionally, you know, correct mistakes. I try to intentionally work harder and do better as a person, but I still probably take it for granted a little bit. Even though I've dealt with a lot of death, it's still something that I could probably take for granted less. There's certain things with we as a household have been trying to do better health wise. We've been going on walks, we've been eating. I don't buy like the snacky junky stuff anymore, which I was like picky about that before, picky if you will. I mean, it's still junk, chips. Oh, get the baked
Yeah.
chips, whatever. But like just that, yeah, I feel like
Well,
we
no
could
worries.
always use to be more intentional with life.
Yeah, don't worry. I knew a older woman in the Lord from church, and she lived to be 100, and she always said, "I'm gonna live to be 100," and she loved fried chicken. So hey, sometimes really it's just all the time it's really just the grace of God, and I mean
Yeah.
because I mean you got people that smoked a long time and live to be 90. So sometimes I believe that's sometimes beyond our understanding.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my grandma, she is 96.
Hmm.
Okay, I think she was no, I was gonna say she was born in 21, but that wouldn't make sense. Uh wait, maybe. I don't know. We'll say she's about 96, 96, 97. And she's still
Yeah,
going. She has she lives with my mom. She has her routine, she goes to bed, gets up at this certain time and whatnot, and my mom takes care of her, makes sure she eats and everything like that. And but she's still here. She's, still content,
yeah.
you know. And I feel like she took pretty good care of herself. I don't think she was a smoker. I don't think she really drank. She was she's an admirable person. She was good with her finances and things like that. Um, but yeah, she's still thriving. So, you know,
That's a blessing.
not forgetful,
You
but
know, God, that's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, if I was almost, my memory is bad. So if I was almost 100, I can't, like, I don't know that I remember much of anything from a day to day basis. I might not even know who anybody is at that point. It's just,
yeah. Well,
so
I'm always hopeful for longevity, but I mean, like, I don't know when you look at the way I don't know, like the mindset of people nowadays. It's like I don't know, like it kind of makes the experience a little different.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I think it's just kind of like a lack of love. It's not everybody, but it's a lot of people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like lately, in the past few years or so, and maybe it's just who I surround myself with. Maybe it's what I pay attention to because I don't really watch the news. I'm picky about like
yeah,
what I pay attention to. I
yeah. I
feel
understand. Yeah,
I feel like more positivity lately in the world. Like I see people helping each other. I see, I also have been told I'm a little naive, but maybe I just choose to see the better things. Like I don't want to go around just the world sucks and a lot of
yeah.
stuff does suck, but I want to enjoy my time
Well,
here. I want to
well,
see the good stuff
I
too.
think I think that that's a very good way to look at it. I mean, like you have to try to find peace,
Yeah,
and a peace of mind always is priceless. But also, peace is a choice,
very much so.
and I think you're right. Like if you focus on all the things that's wrong, you'll miss the beauty in life. But I think that's the thing. Like it's all about protecting your peace,
Hmm.
and you do
Yeah,
have to guard what you look at, what you watch. I mean, because like we talking about now, like I mean, it's a lot going on, but just because other people might have that mindset, we still have a choice to choose peace.
right, right, right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I have to remind myself sometimes that I can't control everything.
Yeah,
I can't control what I can't control, and that's just what it is. you
yeah,
know?
yeah. You know what? I don't know. Did you ever see that movie, The Wiz?
Yeah.
With like Michael Jackson, but the Wicked Witch. I love that song that she sung. It's called "Don't Nobody Bring Me No Bad News." It's like,
Yeah.
and I mean, I know that was the Wicked Witch, but she had a really good point. Like
Right.
you have to kind of have that mindset. Like I don't want to hear it if it's about somebody. I just don't want to hear nothing bad, or I mean, it's good to be aware, but it's like you try to find the beauty in life. Like I'm to the point now where like when I see like even negative things about like mistakes people made, it's like I don't even want to hear about it. Like
Yeah.
people are human. You just you try to see the good in things. It's a saying: if you look for fault, you'll find it. Yeah,
Yes, yes. If you look at things negatively, if you look for the negativity, it's gonna be there somewhere. You're going to find it. Yes. Yeah,
absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so let's talk about your professional development, your career track. So, I know that you were um tell me about the oh my gosh, I can't think of words. The where you're trying to go within the funeral service, what your goals are and what you're doing educationally where you're at to achieve that.
So right now, I'm finally in the process of legally getting my intern license. Every state is different, but in Illinois, you have to do like a year internship.
Okay.
And I mean, so I mean, that's the first step. But I mean, I got my paperwork done, but I just gotta have my doctor sign. So they want to make sure you're in good health and you got everything that you need. So to work with
Yeah.
the circumstances of because I mean, you're being around all type of germs and diseases. So they want to make sure
Oh,
you're in good health and everything.
I wouldn't even have thought of that. I'm thinking like mental health, but that's a good point. I would not have even thought about that. I guess I'm just thinking like, well, people are coming in, they have passed, but they're still bodies and they still have germs. So that makes
Well,
sense
but
too.
but see, what a lot of people don't realize is like, um, there are some diseases that are contagious. Like I mean, with the coronavirus going around, like you had some people like, oh, whoa, no, this is made up. But what people don't realize is like there are some diseases that can be passed along and that can take people out. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not fiction. I mean, that's a
Right.
fact because like I knew somebody personally that ended up having one hand because this individual was working, on a person and wasn't wearing gloves and stuff like that, and it ended up getting a flesh eating disease and lost the arm. Yeah,
What?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So you definitely got to be sanitary and make sure that you have the right precautions and things of that nature. So you. I mean, again, it's a job. You wanna be around as long as you can.
Right.
So you want to do it right. Yeah. Yeah, and so that's the little joke I always told when I went to school. Like I'm like, because they take you through a long process of your license. I'm like, God willing, I hope to live to be like 95, but I don't want to wait till I'm 95 to get licensed. Somebody be about ready to practice on me, by then. So so
Oh
you
gosh.
you gotta you gotta use your time wisely. Because look, working there it teach you that.
Yeah.
As long as you're here, we're gonna age, and time waits for nobody. So we
That
gotta
that's very true.
we gotta make the most of it. But yeah, so I'm waiting to get my doctor to sign it, and then once the state, clear me or whatever, then I'll be able to start doing my internship.
Okay. And are you doing that at where you currently work or are you doing that somewhere else?
I'm doing it. I'm doing it where I work, but I mean, my thing is like, I'm always like willing to learn and things like that. So like, I mean, because I know a lot of people in the business, so I love everybody. So I mean, to me, I look at it like we're all family. And to me, when it comes to the funeral business, like I mean, we all help us one to another. Like, because one thing I say, families are gonna go where they want to go. Like, I don't get off into go here, go there. Like, people
Yeah.
have a right to choose
Yeah.
what's better for them because it's their loved one, and they want to make the choice. So I don't really get off into that. I just I support people wherever they go. I mean, I just have a love for the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm looking to get more like in the political side of it because
Ah,
when I went to school for it, I had a really hard time. And I mean, some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. But it's like, to me, I wouldn't want people to go through what I went through. So I would really like to kind of get more active on that side of it. I mean, because I've been in the business, Lord willing, this year be 13 years. And it's like,
yeah.
even though, I'm working towards getting my intern and now full and being fully licensed, it's like I've been around long enough to know what to do. But it's like, I mean, I've been around it and I've been kind of in the front for so long. It's like, I'm ready to do a little more because I also minister. I mean, even though my voice is damaged, like I love presenting information to people. And I just feel like, I feel like I would do better like on the academic and political side of it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And you're good at it. You're good at talking, you're good at explaining things. There's a lot that I've learned just from having conversation with you that I, wouldn't have even thought to ask or, um, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like, I think I know what you're talking about just from keep previous conversations, but when you say political, if you want to
Well,
go a little deeper
yeah,
into
I'm not. Oh yeah, I mean, but it's not. But politics is not one of my favorite subjects. But
yeah,
I mean, there's a need for it and everything because
yeah,
people have to make decisions. And I
right.
mean, there are pros and cons to everything, but the political side of it would be like how some states are like you can be a funeral director or embalmer. Like, in my state, you have to pass both tests.
Oh,
Some states, their laws are like you can do one or the other, but to me, I feel like it's good to be well rounded. Like I'm totally for. I used to be against like splitting the license up, but like now I kind of see the benefit of having both licenses. But I think like I don't know, like I feel like there could be some adjustments in the academic system though.
okay.
Because don't get me wrong, like because there are people who have book knowledge, but they're not really good hands-on, and then there are people who are good hands-on, but maybe they
Yeah,
don't, you know, kind of get it the book way. But it's like,
yeah,
I feel like when I was in mortuary school, like, don't get me wrong, I love the teachers. Now I don't always agree with the method of teaching, but but I mean, I give them a pass because they were funeral directors and they were knowledgeable about their subject. But it's like a person can be knowledgeable, but not everybody still is a good teacher.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and so, like to me, like that just kind of motivated me to like kind of want to get more involved on the academic side because like to me, I'm like I can walk into a classroom with people that probably don't even think about this and I'm not being arrogant or nothing like that, but I feel like I would be good at presenting information to people. I would make sure that all my students would pass and like I would do it the right way because everybody learns differently. So
yeah.
you can't always use the same tactical approach on everybody. And I
I
mean that's
agree.
with anything. I mean, even with professional wrestling, like I had, I've had some situations where people were like they were trying to show people stuff and they're like, oh, you don't get it, and but what people gotta understand, if you're gonna be a teacher, you have to be wise enough to know that everybody's different. And you
Yes.
can't use the same method on everybody because everybody understanding is different. And I think that's one of the faults of the education system. It's like, we live in this world that's so systematic that we just group everything together and we group people together and not realizing that people are individuals. And I mean, like you can stand in front of some people and one person get it and the next person like, huh?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
lost, like
100%.
because I'll give you a good example. When I was doing my labs in mortuary college, there's an instrument called a hemostat.
Mhm.
and one of the professors, a very well known embalmer and very well respected embalmer, and I know he knows a lot more than I do because he's been doing it longer. But also he, like I mean, this guy's like the top, and I mean he's a great teacher. But there was one time that I took the hemostats off a different way. It wasn't the exact way that he did it. And when I took him off, look, I'm like, it was different, but we got the same goal. But like he didn't like that too much. But one of the other guys was like, don't worry about that. Like, as long as you got it off, that's fine.
Yeah. What about teaching? I know you were talking about like the politics of it, but what have you thought about, like teaching a class or,
Yeah, I would I would love it. And I mean, because I know like in mortuary you got to have like a master's degree. So like I'm like, well, to be honest, I had enough of school. Now. I ain't trying to, take out no loans or nothing like that. Like, they
right.
got me a few times, they ain't getting no more money out of me. But but to be honest, that's why I said like I would love to be kind of like on the political side of it. Because I mean, like just going off into the industry, like I don't know, like I feel like there's a lot of growth with it, but like because like a lot of people don't talk about this, but the funeral business is kind of like for some people, it's kind of a little more slow towards change. I
Mhm.
mean, most businesses change rapidly, but like this business is kind of like the caveman coming out in our time now. So yeah, so you gotta keep up a little bit, and because like my thing is like a lot of people don't like change,
Yeah,
but change is a part of life. You just gotta find a way to make it work.
it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Very much so. Um,
Yeah,
it's death is a part of life, change is a part of life. Um, but we're about at the end of our time. Unfortunately, I did have another idea though, having you back. Would
sure,
you be
anytime.
would you, because we didn't really get to talk about like the filmmaking, but that's okay. We can break that up to a whole nother episode and then I have a reason to have, an excuse to get you back. So
Yeah.
um what would you I'm not gonna put the mic to it. All right. So for now, let everybody know where they can reach you on social media. I'm also gonna put the Vimeo link in the description, and you just let us know where we can find you.
Wade Simmons on Facebook, Wade Jedi 99 on Instagram, big Star Wars fan, and then you can find me on Vimeo, Wade Filmmaker 37 on Vimeo,
Perfect.
Wade Filmmaker 777 on Vimeo.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for being here again, and I can't wait to have you back. Next time, we're gonna have a little surprise when you come back too. So I'm looking
Absolutely,
forward to
anytime you want me on, I'm more than happy to come back.
it. Okay.
Always.
But all right. All right. Well, until next time. If anyone wants to chime in, or if anybody has questions they want us to answer or topics to discuss, you can leave that on the Facebook page. Visit www.falolity.net. That's FALOLITY.